Now this next part makes me want to punch babies. Hard. In the face. Wait, wait, wait! Alice trilled from the doorway. She danced across the room, dreamily graceful. As with Edward and Carlyle, I felt some shock as I really looked at her face for the first time. So lovely. You promised I could be there for the first time. What if you two runs past something reflective? Alice, Edward protested. It will only take a second. And with that, Alice darted from the room. Edward sighed. What is she talking about? But Alice was already back, carrying the huge gilt-framed mirror from Rosalie's room, which was nearly as tall as she was, or nearly twice as tall as she was, and several times as wide. Snip. I was only aware of this exchange with the lesser part of my concentration. The greater part was riveted on the person in the mirror. My reaction was unthinking pleasure. The alien creature in the glass was indisputably beautiful, every bit as beautiful as Alice or Esme. She was fluid even in stillness, and her flawless face was as pale as the moon against the frame of her dark, heavy hair. Her limbs were smooth and strong, skin glistening subtly, luminous as a pearl. My second reaction was horror. Who was she? At first glance, I couldn't find my face anywhere in the smooth, perfect planes of her features. And her eyes, though I'd known to expect them, her eyes still sent a thrill of terror through me. All the while I studied and reacted. Her face was perfectly composed, a carving of a goddess, showing nothing of the turmoil and roiling inside of me. And then her full lips moved. Excuse me, guys. This passage inspires me. In fact, I believe I feel a song coming on. You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you. You're so vain. You probably think the song is about you. Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Seriously. Carving of the goddess, indeed. Snip! She freaks out over the prospect of her eyes being red for several months. No, I'm fine, I promised them. My eyes flickered to the stranger in the mirror and back. It's just a lot to take in. Jasper's brow furrowed, highlighting the two scars over his left eye. I don't know, Edward murmured. The woman in the mirror frowned. What question did I miss? Edward grinned. Jasper wonders how you're doing it. Doing what? Controlling your emotions, Bella, Jasper answered. I've never seen a newborn do that, stop an emotion in its tracks that way. You were upset, but when you saw our concern, you reined it in. Regained power over yourself. I was prepared to help, but you didn't need it. Is that wrong? I asked. My body automatically froze as I waited for his verdict. No, he said, but his voice sounded unsure. Edward stroked his hand down my arm as if encouraging me to thaw. It's very impressive, Bella, but we don't understand it. We don't know how long it can hold. Snip. But what do you think? Alice asked, a little impatient now, pointing to the mirror. I'm not sure, I hedged, not wanting to admit how frightened I really was. I stared at the beautiful woman with the terrifying eyes, looking for pieces of me. There was something there in the shape of her lips. If you looked past the dizzying beauty, it was true that her upper lip was slightly out of balance, a bit too full to match the lower. Finding this familiar little flaw, it made me feel a tiny bit better. Maybe the rest of me was in there too. I raised my hand experimentally, and the woman in the mirror copied the movement, touching her face too. Her crimson eyes watched me warily. Edward sighed. I turned away from her to look at him, raising one eyebrow. Disappointed? I asked, my ringing voice impassive. He laughed. Yes, he admitted. I felt shock break through the composed mask of my face, followed instantly by the hurt. Alice snarled. Jasper leaned forward again, waiting for me to snap. But Edward ignored them and wrapped his arms tightly around my newly frozen form, pressing his lips against my cheek. I was rather hoping I'd be able to hear your mind, now that it is more similar to my own, he murmured. And here I am, as frustrated as ever, wondering what could possibly be going on inside your head. I felt better at once. Oh, well, I said lightly, relieved that my thoughts were still my own. I guess my brain will never work right. At least I'm pretty. Had I owned a hard copy of Breaking Dawn, this would have been the point in which I would have taken it out back, doused it with gasoline, and lit it on fire.